Okay, people, welcome to another episode of Candy Talk with Retta, where we have open, heart-to-heart conversations on matters pertaining to love, life, and faith. Welcome. It's another year. Thank you, Jesus. Happy New Year, people. 2020 was quite an eventful year. But we made it and we are thankful to God. We are so grateful to God for this opportunity to be in another year. So Happy New Year once again. I just want to use this opportunity to thank you for listening. Thank you for your encouragement. Thank you for your kind words. Thank you for your messages. I am grateful. It fills my heart with joy to know that you actually enjoy listening to this podcast, and I'm grateful. Let's do even better in the year 2021. And of course, let me use this opportunity to wish you a very wonderful year ahead. I pray that the year brings favor to you and your family. I pray that you are kept safe, and I pray that God's blessings are upon you and your loved ones this year. I pray that you are protected, and I pray that no evil comes your way in this year 2021, in Jesus' name. Amen. Okay, so today's episode, I said that we'll be discussing mental health and Christianity, because I believe that this is a topic that is a conversation that needs to be had, especially in the Christian circle. It's something that we tend to run away from because we believe that, well, though erroneously, that it is not a very spiritual matter, and that talking about mental health makes you less spiritual, or it makes you not a very strong Christian. And I think that it's something that we really need to begin to look into. So on today's episode, I have my personal psychologist, like I said earlier. She is a trained psychologist. She's a practicing psychologist, and she is just excellent at what she does. Besides that, she's also my sister. Her name is Lilian Gerald. I would just let her introduce herself in a bit. So basically what I did, because I could not get Lilian to be with me to record this, so I sent her the questions, and then I had her send in the answers. So I'm just going to be playing her answers for you as we go along. I can't wait for you to hear what she has to say about this topic. I really can't wait. So let's just get right into it. Hello, Lilian. So I have done a sort of, minimal introduction, but I believe that you'll have your own way you prefer to be introduced. So I'll just let you introduce yourself the way you'd rather be introduced. So let us get to know you.
Okay, thank you so much. My name is Lilian Gerald, like she said, and I am a psychologist. I'm a trained psychologist. I'm a mental health advocate and counselor, and I'm a Christian. I am a Christian, and yes, I'm also the founder of Health Nest, which is a mental health counseling platform, and I believe we'll talk about that as we go on in this. So that's basically who I am, and I believe my kind of person. I'm the kind of person who is interested in talking to people, helping people, and just wanting to know their story and wanting to impact life generally. So I think that kind of fueled or influenced my interest in this career line. So this is who I am, Lilian Gerald. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Lilian. And we'll talk about Health Nest in a bit, but before that, I just tell us about mental health. I know you have to say a lot about on the matter, but tell us in very clear, simple terms. Talk to us about mental health and its importance.
Now to the big question, what is mental health? I'm going to try to be very simple, and I'm going to try to be very clear. in my definition, and I'll try to also put in a bit of what mental health is not, because we have a lot of misunderstanding about what mental health is about, as in people have different orientations about what it is about. Recently, I'd just like to chip this in. Recently, I was talking to someone, and then when I mentioned that, I'm into mental health counseling, and the first look I got was that, I mean, you're a young girl, why would you want to get yourself involved with those mad people or something? And I had to look at the person, I was like, why will you think this way? Mental health, let's just put it side by side with physical health. Mental health is the wellness of your mind. Wow. I think I should write a book on that. Okay, so mental health is the wellness of your mind. Mental health involves your cognition, your behavior, and your emotions. So let me not speak too much grammar. Cognition is basically your thinking, your reasoning, your comprehension, understanding of things around you. Your behavior is your actions, things that people can see you do. Okay, it's not just actions that like jumping, dancing, how you react to situations, and then things like that. And then your emotions, how, it also entails how you react to certain situations, or when people say, my mood is not so good today, and I'm not so happy today, and things like that. So that relates to your emotions. So mental health is just the wellness of your mind. I like the definition that World Health Organization gave, and it says that mental health is a state of well-being in which all individual realizes his or her own abilities, can cope with normal stresses of life, can work productively, and is able to make a contribution to his or her community. So looking at this definition, we can see that it is holistic in the sense that it covers the fact that this individual is healthy, this individual can contribute to life, contribute to things in his or her community. This individual is actually important to the society. Not like there's no one who is not important, but then this individual is healthy enough to make reasonable contributions. So mental health deals with how whole you are, how whole you are, in terms of your mind. It influences the way you think, it influences the way you behave, it influences the way you reason, your point of view of things. Now let me give an example. For example, if I have a mental health condition of depression, for example, many times I'll just see sad situations. When I listen to music, it's just basically going to be sad things. Or, when people tell me things, I'll just see it in a very sad perspective, because sadness is a huge component of depression. So even when, for example, I'm working with my boss and my boss tells me that, okay, so Lilian, you have to do this for this particular client. If I'm someone who is depressed, or if my boss gives me a correction at work, the first thing that will come to my mind is, I'm not good enough, or this person hates me. The salary I'm collecting, maybe I'm not even worth it. These people are just trying to manage me. So you can see how that has actually influenced my thinking, how that has influenced, my sense of judgment. So mental health is not madness. I'll keep repeating this over and over again. It is not insanity. I'd like us to just clarify that. So mental health is the wellness of your mind. Your reactions to situation, the way you judge things, the way your mood. There's some people that say that I have mood swings here and there. I'll actually say that those people they are not really stable mentally. Do you understand? They're not really stable mentally, because if today I'm happy, tomorrow I'm sad, the next day I'm psychology will call it bipolar, because you're here and there. You understand? That is like a mood issue. So mental health is a wellness of your mind, and I really love this World Health Organization definition. It is fantastic. So I think this is simple and short. Okay, I try to make it really short, but I hope we get the whole idea, the whole vibe of mental health. So when next someone talks to you and say, oh, okay, I'm having a mental health challenge, you won't say, hey, hope this my friend is not going mad or going crazy or something. Just say, oh, okay, what happened? How are you feeling? Would you like to talk about it? Okay, we have a lot of things to talk about. So let me just stop here. So this is what mental health is basically about.
Interesting. Mental health is the wellness of your mind. That has got to be the most succinct definition of mental health that I've ever heard. And I love it. I love it because it makes it easy to remember and to make it easy to understand that just as physical health is the wellness of your body, mental health is the wellness of your mind. Excellent. And I also love the fact that you mentioned that people tend to misunderstand or misconstrue what mental health is, and many times they see it as insanity. When you talk to people about mental health, they think that, oh, it means that the person is mad, and I love that you made that clarification. Excellent. So my next question, as a Christian, a counselor, a mental health advocate, and a trained psychologist, what, in your opinion, is the reason for this somewhat subtle resistance to mental health discussion amongst Christians?
So in in speaking about the importance of mental health, I would just say that the reason why the reason many people do not pay attention to their mental health is because they really don't know what it's about. So with proper orientation, people will be able to understand what exactly is mental health and why it is important. So putting it side by side with physical health, why I need to be physically healthy, because it helps me carry out activities. um it helps me secure, it helps me stay on the job. Yes, it helps me keep making money. you know my physical health helps me just be confident about myself, because if you are regularly falling sick physically, it actually affects you one way or the other. It affects your self-confidence. You start, things like that, and then it now relates to mental health, you see. So but I would like to talk about the importance of mental health. And the first thing I would like to mention is that mental health is important because it helps you make meaning out of life. It helps you make meaning out of life. It helps you make informed, um I won't really say informed decisions, because people make decisions based on whatsoever reason that they do. But it helps you um judge things, like judge situations, judge things accurately. It helps you better, rather. It helps you make meaningful contribution to life. It helps you make meaningful contribution to your society, your community community. And then it actually helps you to be much more productive. It helps you to be productive. It helps you to be able to cope with stress in life, whatever stress that comes in your lifetime. It helps you have good relationship with people. And I think having good relationship with people is an offshoot of the fact that you're able to judge things better. So mental health is actually that important, because it shapes your perspective about life. It's mental health helps you, or good mental health helps you, make better judgments. So I think that those are like the key reasons why, the key importance of mental health. But I would like us to forget the fact that it's as important as our physical health. So if we give any reason for your physical health being important, it's the same way you should also prioritize your mental health. If I feel that my physical health is important for me to stay here on earth, I should also know that my mental health is also important for me to live meaningfully here on earth. So I think that actually answers the question. So I'll actually say that the reason, I think I just have one reason. The reason a Christian should care about his or her mental health is because That Christian is a human being. Let us write it boldly. I am a human being. That is the first reason. And as a human being, I have a mind. Just the same way I have a body. I have a mind. And then, okay, even when we talk about things like stress, it's actually, we have physical factors that contribute to stress. So when my body is not really functioning as it should, probably I'm having a physical illness, it can affect my mental health because I'm going to be less productive. I won't be able to do the things that I want to do. For example, now take for example, you have malaria or you have catarrh. You know how cough and catarrh. You know how you can actually feel when you are on the bus or in a car with people, or even in the church, and you just cough and that kind of thick, that kind of very thick cough, or you just keep on sniffing. And people even try to avoid you. Even when after church, they say, shake your neighbor. People are trying to avoid you because they know you've been blowing catarrh since morning. You know how that will actually make you feel. So that is actually a part of your mental health, because you are cold, you are coughing, so it now makes you unable to think straight. You are not able to concentrate on a particular task. And then at the end of the day, people are trying to keep a distance from you. Not even in this COVID times, people will even run away from you. You get that kind of situation. And then, one way or the other, that your physical condition has affected your mental health, has affected your reasoning, that has affected the way you judge situation. Even if somebody is not trying to run away from you, and the person just moves to a particular, just shifts to a distance. In your mind, you're like, why are you running? An ordinary kata or something. Nothing like that. One way or the other, it now affects your mind. You now go home and you're like, this was what happened today. I feel so bad about it. That is mental health. Do you understand? That is mental health. So someone who now, for example, let us take someone who is now a COVID patient, is now isolated. You are not able to walk. You cannot see your family. People are not coming close to you. One way or the other, that now develops to a mental health condition that now has to be, to be treated or addressed. So you can see how mental health relates to so many things. I think I've actually digressed from what I meant to talk about. How mental health, enters into a lot of things around us. So as a Christian, the first reason why you should care about your mental health is because first, you are human. You are not a spirit. You are actually human. And seeing a therapist doesn't make you less spiritual. Seeing a therapist means that you are actually prioritizing your mental health. Just like nobody will actually say that seeing a doctor makes you less spiritual. Let's be factual. Nobody will say, Lilian or Loretta, you went to see a doctor. Are you not a Christian? Nobody will say that. In fact, people will even encourage you. You are sick. Okay, fine, I know you are praying. But then go to the hospital now. Even your pastor will do that. Sister Lilian, go to the hospital. You are sick. That is the same way we should not discourage people from seeing psychologists. Because psychologists are just doctors of the mind. You get. So, yes, psychologists are doctors of the mind. I should say that again. So seeing a psychologist should be encouraged. Your mood have not been stable recently, Sister Lilian. You've not been productive in church. You've not been active in service. You've not, when people talk to you, you've not even been eating well. You are growing slim. Or you've been eating excessively. You are not sleeping enough. I think you should talk to a psychologist. That is actually not bad. Just the way you recommend someone to talk to a doctor. So seeing a therapist doesn't make you less spiritual. In fact, it means that you care about yourself, because you need your physical body. You need your mind to be well, to be able to serve God. Do you understand? Because someone who is not well mentally won't be able to relate with church work, won't be able to relate with people in church. Do you understand? So I think that's about that. Thank you.
Excellent. I love that. I really love that you said that considering your mental health, seeing a therapist doesn't make you less spiritual. I really love that, because many people see it as a sign of spiritual weakness. And I actually love that you gave this analogy, and you made this similarity between your physical health and your mental health. Nobody will cuss you out for going to see a doctor as a Christian, right? So in the same vein, nobody should judge you as less spiritual if you decide to see a therapist, or if you decide to get help for your mental health. I also love the fact that you talked about the humanity of the Christians, because yes, we know that we have the Spirit of God dwelling on our inside. We know that since we are believers, we have eternal life and all of that, but you are still a human being. You're still dwelling on this earth. You still have a physical body. Therefore, you can't be affected by the stresses of life, right? Thank you so much for making that distinction, and for making this point, throwing light to this question that I just asked.
Okay, I also like to chip in something at this point, and I think this is the reason a lot of people resist talking to a psychologist or a mental health counselor, or the reason why people even resist talking to a therapist, or don't even want to mention the word therapy or therapist, is because, first of all, it's a misunderstanding or misconception of the word mental health. When mental health, like I said, is just the condition of your mind, the health of your mind. And but it's now when you don't take care of that, or when you are not healthy in that sense, that it can lead to a mental illness. Just the way when you don't take care of your physical health, it can lead to a physical illness. So the reason I see a lot of people resisting to talk to a therapist is because many people feel that, how can I just talk to a stranger about things in my life? Now, so that is one part of it. And I also like to take us back to the fact that we have friends that we talk to, right? We have pastors that we talk to in terms of Christians. We have, family members. And you feel that these people, in your mind, you feel that they are not strangers. But there has actually been a communication of familiarity with both of you. For example, if I give an example of my pastor, I say I can always talk to my pastor about everything and anything. But there was a day I met my pastor. My pastor was initially a stranger to me before I got close to this person. That is how we should also see a therapist. Fine, we have a lot of people saying, let's just tell someone all of my thoughts, all of my feelings, because it's like intruding a lot of privacy. It's like intruding your privacy, because your physical appearance, people can actually see that and know that, okay, this person is sick and all of that. But what goes on in your mind is personal. There are a lot of things that goes on in the mind of a man that a lot of people do not know. In fact, you cannot know if they do not say it. That is why people feel it is intruding their privacy, having to speak their mind, having to share their thoughts, their feelings with someone. But let us not forget the fact that the person you call your friend today is because you have built a stable relationship, a stable and a trusted relationship with that person. And that is the same way you can also build this kind of relationship with your therapist. So your therapist can be a stranger to you today, but not a stranger to you next week, because you've started building a relationship with that person. So let us not forget that this whole thing is relationship building. Once I have built relationship with this person and say, you are my doctor, you are my therapist, or you are my psychologist, or my pastor, or my friend, we have to give that relationship time. And then in giving it time, we have to be able to talk to that person. We have to be able to be free with that person, for this person to be able to help us in times of need. So I hope that is actually clear. I feel that is the reason why a lot of people resist the whole mental health and talking to a therapist, or talking to a psychologist. It's just because of I will actually call it lack of proper orientation or understanding. So I hope that is actually clear. That is actually clear rather. Thank you.
Devoted Christian, I know that you are a serious believer And I'm glad that you are the one speaking about this. And I'm also glad that you mentioned that, of course, the spiritual supersedes the physical. But then God has given us men, just as He has given us doctors and scientists, He has also given us doctors of the mind. And just as we do not see anything wrong in going to see a physician, the person who takes care of our bodies, the doctors that attend to our body, we should not also see it as a problem to seek help when we have mental health issues. Thank you so much for pointing that out. What I want to know is this, because there are many people who are dealing with mental health issues who don't even know it. So my next question is, how does one know when they need help with their mental health? What are the signs to look out for? How do I know that I need counseling? Because it's very easy to dismiss our feelings. It's very easy for other people to even be dismissive of how we're feeling about something or how we're feeling about ourselves. So how does one know that a person requires psychological attention?
Speaking of how to know when you need help, is speaking of how to know the signs, just like I mentioned earlier on, is to look out for those warning signs. And they are actually very subtle, because you just feel that, oh, it's just a normal thing. So that is why you have to, be self conscious. You have to be conscious of your health. It's actually important. You have to be able to, you have to be able to watch yourself as a person, as a human being. Let self-care be top on your list. Take your time to get to know you. For example, I'm taking my time to get to know Lilian. I'm taking my time to know when Lilian is stressed, when Lilian is tired, when Lilian is not eating so much, when Lilian is eating too much, when Lilian, is easily making up. When Lilian is not being, fair in terms of her judgment or her reaction to people. So therefore, it's actually very important to get to know yourself, to know you, and be able to watch yourself closely. That way, when the signs, when you start to notice those signs, you are able to now say, okay, at this point, I feel there is something wrong now. And that is why it's also good to also have accountability partners, friends, people that, when they notice certain things about you, they can always tell you things. So how do I know these signs? How do I know I am not healthy um, um, mentally? Or how do I know these warning signs, if I want to put it in that term? How do I know these warning signs? Like I actually mentioned earlier on, when you are not finding enjoyment in the things you used to enjoy, when you are excessively worried, when you are excessively sad, when your moods are here and there every day, it changes anyhow, when you get tired easily, and even physical symptoms like stomach ache, stress, like tiredness, dizziness, um, loss of your sex drive decreases, things like that. Those are things that you should actually look out for, and that will help you know that, okay, at this point in time, I think I need help now. Because one way or the other, these things will actually influence the way you view things or your perspective about things. One way or the other, this will actually influence your productivity. Do you understand? So it's actually important we look out for these warning signs. For example, probably I went to bed, I had so many things on my mind last night, and I woke up the same way, having that same thing on my mind. And the next day, the same thing on my mind, the same thing on my mind. It has gone on for 2 weeks and more, and it's making me worried. It's making me live in fear. I should actually notice that this thing has been long coming. Like it has been too long with me. So that's why it's actually important to pay attention to yourself. So that is, at that point, you should know that you need counseling. You shouldn't wait till it gets to till it gets out of hand that you know that you need. Because just the way you go for medical checkup when you're having a fever, you are dizzy, you are you you are tired, okay, I should go for checkup. I should know probably I'm having malaria symptoms or things like that, or you're purging, you're throwing up, maybe I have typhoid. So you shouldn't wait till it gets to that point where you break down completely before you see your doctor. No, so that's why you shouldn't wait till that point where it has gotten out of, or it has become um, it has become an illness completely before you talk to a counselor.
Okay, so my next question is this. As a trained psychologist and having counseled a number of young people, what is that predominant mental health issue that many people, especially young people, come to you for? What have you observed as the major mental health issue that young people are currently dealing with?
Okay, having counseled a good number of young people, the mental health condition that most people present is basically an offshoot of so many things. Okay, so but I'll just mention anxiety, depression, um, stress. Yes, yeah. I think those are like the major ones that most people come with, and most of the time is not. They are really like I said, they are an offshoot of so many things. So many times I see young people come to talk to me about satisfaction with life. And it actually baffles me because I feel that at that point in their life they shouldn't be talking about satisfaction with life, because I feel it's majorly for people who have older people. But then I see a lot of young people come with this um, situation, and it has now led to depression. It has now led to depression because they feel they are not up to the standards of their friends, or they're not meeting the expectations of their family, leading to anxiety, fear of the future. Will they be able to take care of their family? Things like that. So many times it's actually an offshoot of so many things. Take for example, in terms of trauma. I see young people coming with trauma, probably those that have been sexually abused, and especially those who have been sexually abused. I see a lot of them coming for that reason, and as a result, they're having the PTSD. They're having post-traumatic stress disorder, and cases like that. So many times that is why our mental health is actually key, because if you can probably if you can properly rather um, take care of yourself in terms of your mental health, it will lead to a mental illness. Just like if you can take care of yourself physically, it won't lead to a physical illness. So if you can find, if you can look out for warning signs, if you can easily note those warning signs, and you're able to talk to um, a psychologist or a professional, it actually would help reduce reduce the probability of having a mental illness. So basically, the condition most young people battle with, is anxiety, depression, trauma, and then and then stress. But then, like I said, they are majorly an offshoot of so many things. I hope that is actually clear. So talking about managing them, so how will I say we can manage these conditions? Like I said, it's basically just looking out for the warning signs. And what are the warning signs? Excessive sadness, excessive worry, loss or increase in appetite, sleep or excessive sleep, loss of sex drive, um, loss of interest in things that you used to um, enjoy doing. So first of all, just look out for the warning signs. So when these are you notice this, it's important you talk to a professional. So the best way to actually manage a mental health condition is talking to a professional. It's a psychologist or a mental health um, counselor. Talk to a professional, because these are the people that can actually help you. And I believe in your therapy, they are going to um, they're going to streamline ways that.
Wow, Lillian, this conversation so far has just been eye-opening, to say the least. I'm just excited that we got to do this. I'm just so delighted that we managed to get past our procrastination to eventually do this. For those of you who don't know, my sister and I, Lillian, have brooded over this topic for a long time, and I'm just so thankful to God that we eventually got to do it, because I know that a lot of people will be thoroughly blessed just by listening to this. It's really, really enlightening. Yeah, so now my next question, because you mentioned the fact that a number of people are highly depressed. And I've heard the story of a young lady, a young Christian lady, who contemplated suicide simply because she felt she wasn't doing enough for the gospel. So, how do you create that balance? Because, look, it might sound strange, but these things happen. So, how do you create that balance as a Christian? That balance where you do not feel like you are terrible, or you do not condemn yourself up to the point of wanting to take your own life. I can.
Okay, so in speaking about suicide, suicide is a big one. Suicide is a big one, and in one of and it's actually one of the leading causes of death amongst young people. And I mean, it's actually it's terrible. It's terrible. But for this situation, for the lady who contemplated suicide because she wasn't doing enough for God, I have two perspectives about this, and as time permits me, I'll be able to share this. Okay, so for the first one, it did not start from that. It did not start from that zealousness for God, or that zeal for God rather. So it did not start from that zeal for God, that okay, I'm not doing enough for the gospel, and that's because of that I want to commit suicide, because probably I'm not it's just like I'm not used for something. So it didn't start from that point. I'm sure it started from way back. I'm 100% sure it started from way back, and that is it now shows that that person wasn't healthy mentally, because the person's sense of reasoning, judgment, perspective to things has been actually compromised before this time. Do you understand? Do you understand what I'm saying? So I'm sure that this person must have been in a situation where this person felt I am not good enough. So that now actually became this person's core belief. Just my saying, but this is what I strongly believe. That I am not good enough now became that person's strong belief. I'm sure that now entered into several aspects of this person's life subtly. That meaning that this person wasn't aware that this I am not good enough core belief has entered into probably her work, it has entered into her relationship, but she has just been managing it, meaning that this person did not actually see it before this time. So this time was just like the big blow. Okay, when it now came to God, even this my creator, he died for me, and he made so many sacrifices for me, and now I cannot do so much for him. Look at these people, look at this young lady, she's doing something for the gospel. This other young man is doing something for the gospel. He's richer than I am. She's richer than I am. She's more beautiful than I am. and she's doing things for God. So how much more me? Why am I not doing? Thoughts like that. So those thoughts did not start from then, when it had to do with the gospel, the things of God. It's been way back. I strongly believe that. So I strongly believe that. So this person attempting to commit suicide had, I can strongly say, had a poor mental health. This person wasn't healthy, and this person did not talk to, maybe did or did not, I don't know, but this person probably did not seek for help, or else it wouldn't have gotten to that point of saying, I want to commit suicide. Because in your working for God, and this is the other part of it, so in your working for God, you need to realize that it has nothing to do with your ability. Fine, the work of God service needs your strength, it needs your time, it needs your energy, but you are backed up by the power of God. Yeah. And it's God's ability in you that makes you work for him effectively, and he strengthens you to do his work. Do you understand? But as a human being, you need your mind and you need your body to be able to carry out that work.
All right, so we are slowly getting to the end of today's episode. But of course, I cannot just let Lilian go without asking this very vital question. So, Lilian, off the top of your head, what are some key strategies to improve one's mental health? I mean, prevention is better than cure. So, how do you prevent mental health issues, and how can you really take care of yourself, take care of your mental health? All right, so we have come to the end of today's episode, but before I let Lilian go, Lilian, please tell us how we can reach you, because I'm certain some of my listeners might want to reach out to you privately, have a session with you. So just tell us how to reach you, give us additional information. Where can we follow you? You just give us additional information about Health Nest and how best to contact you.
I actually feel like going I actually feel like going on and on with this conversation. It's been a wonderful discussion so far. It's been a wonderful time enlightening you all about mental health. Like, there's a lot to talk about, especially when it comes to mental health. And I would really like to, I would really like us to, be open to much more information about mental health. So coming back to me, like I introduced myself, my name is Lilian Gerald, and I mentioned earlier that I am the founder of a mental health counseling platform. The reason I call it a platform right now is because of the place we are using, the format which the form we are actually using to create awareness and provide help. Like, majorly we are online, and so we are not in like an office or what have you. So I am the founder of Health Nest. We do basically mental health advocacy, trainings, and we also provide consultations. We also provide mental health counseling as well. So how can you reach me? Okay, you can actually follow us on our social media pages. You can follow us on Instagram at Health Nest Initiative. So you just go on Instagram and just type Health Nest Initiative, and then you are going to pop up and you're going to see all of our content. So you can reach us, you can send us a direct message on Instagram, or you can send us a direct message on Facebook, which is Health Nest NG. So that is Health Nest NG with no space in between. So you can send us a direct message. We are always available to attend to you, and you'll be getting a response in less than 24 hours. And we're also on WhatsApp as well. And you can reach us on, I'll just drop the number here. You can reach us on 0816 433 4658. And I'll call it again, 0816 433 4658. Or you can follow me. You can actually follow me on Instagram at Lilian Gerald. The Lilian is spelled Lilian, ANNE, then Gerald underscore Gerald. So you can reach me. I look forward to hearing from a lot of you. I look forward to talking to you much more. I look forward to standing as a representative of everyone with a mental illness, standing against stigmatization, standing against, people watering down on whatever feeling it is you are having, or whatever mental health condition that you are having or people are having out there. Mental illnesses are real, just like physical illness, but then we can always, find a way to care for ourselves. It's not bad when you reach out for help. It's not bad to reach out for help, to talk to a therapist or a psychologist. It doesn't make you less of a person, or it doesn't mean that you are mad in that sense. So feel free to reach out to me on any of these social media platforms. Feel free to reach out to us, and we look forward to helping you. So thank you so much for having me today. It's really a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me, and yeah, I look forward to more of this, right? I look forward to more of this. So thank you so much. Be conscious of your health is actually important. You have to be able to, you have to be able to watch yourself as a person, as a human being. Let self-care be top on your list. Take your time to get to know you. For example, I'm taking my time to get to know Lilian. I'm taking my time to know when Lilian is stressed, when Lilian is tired, when Lilian is not eating so much, when Lilian is eating too much, when Lilian, is easily making up. When Lilian is not being, fair in terms of her judgment or her reaction to people. So therefore, it's actually very important to get to know yourself, to know you, and be able to watch yourself closely. That way, when the signs, when you start to notice those signs, you are able to now say, okay, at this point, I feel there is something wrong now. And that is why it's also good to also have accountability partners, friends, people that, when they notice certain things about you, they can always tell you things. So how do I know these signs? How do I know I am not healthy um, um, mentally? Or how do I know these warning signs, if I want to put it in that term? How do I know these warning signs? Like I actually mentioned earlier on, when you are not finding enjoyment in the things you used to enjoy, when you are excessively worried, when you are excessively sad, when your moods are here and there every day, it changes anyhow, when you get tired easily, and even physical symptoms like stomach ache, stress, and like tiredness, dizziness, um, you know, um, loss of your sex drive decreases, things like that. Those are things that you should actually look out for, and that will help you know that, okay, at this point in time, I think I need help now. Because one way or the other, these things will actually influence the way you view things or your perspective about things. One way or the other, this will actually influence your productivity. Do you understand? So it's actually important we look out for these warning signs. For example, probably I went to bed, I had so many things on my mind last night, and I woke up the same way, having that same thing on my mind. And the next day, the same thing on my mind, the same thing on my mind. It has gone on for 2 weeks and more, and it's making me worried. It's making me live in fear. I should actually notice that this thing has been long coming. Like it has been too long with me. So that's why it's actually important to pay attention to yourself. So that is, at that point, you should know that you need counseling. You shouldn't wait till it gets till it gets out of hand that you know that you need counseling. Just the way you go for medical checkup when you're having a fever, you are dizzy, you are you you are tired, You know, okay, I should go for checkup. I should know probably I'm having malaria symptoms or things like that, or you're purging, you're throwing up, maybe I have typhoid. So you shouldn't wait till it gets to that point where you break down completely before you see your doctor. No, so that's why you shouldn't wait till that point where it has gotten out of, you know, it has become um, it has become an illness completely before you talk to a counselor. So I'll actually recommend, when you notice those warning signs, make sure you talk to a professional. Book an appointment with a professional. Do not wait till you start keeping yourself at home, in terms of, for example, in terms of say anxiety. Do not wait till it's if that fear or that anxiety keeps you at home. You're no longer relating with people. You're now scared that, oh, this person might do something to me. Oh, I'm scared that, oh, I won't be actually fruitful in this work, so I won't venture into it. So don't wait till it gets to that point. It's mental health. It's a lot. It's a lot to talk about, and it's a lot of things to cover. But I just hope this should be able to put you in perspective. This should be able to help your thinking, or it should actually help your understanding better about mental health. So don't wait till it gets too much. I know the next question you might want to ask is how do I know when it is now a serious condition? Well, I think I'm going to answer that somewhere in between. Okay.
If you listened to this episode to the very end, you are the boss. You are awesome, because I know that today's episode was just much longer than usual, but definitely worth it. Thank you to my guest, my sister Lilian Gerald, who's a trained mental health counselor, a seasoned psychologist. Thank you for sharing with us. I learned a whole lot in this time that we spent talking about mental health and Christianity. Thank you to everyone who tuned in today. Thank you for listening. And I do hope that with some of the strategies that were shared in today's episode, that you would take steps in improving your mental health. Feel free to reach out to Health Nest if you need further counseling, or if you just need to talk to someone, or if you're just going through a rough time and you just need to speak with a professional. Just feel free to contact them. So on that note, today's episode has come to an end, and so tune in again to Candy Talk with Retta in our next episode. Bye.